Matt Prosser says, let's run it back. We're running it back. Welcome back to the Paris Pod Olympic Outlook. Again, as I mentioned on the men's indoor Olympic preview, you guys get to choose. I kind of like Paris Pod. It's got the alliteration.
Yeah.
But Olympic Outlook does too. That was producer Juan Delaney's idea. So we'll see.
Okay.
Do you have a choice either way?
Whatever rolls off the tongue better.
Whatever rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
I like it. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to do some of the same stuff that we talked about for the men, just in case anybody missed that. Indoor expert, Matt Prosser. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Great to see you when you're not just driving past me as I'm walking Austin to Trader Joe's.
Right.
And we block traffic.
Yeah, to catch up. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. People can wait because we got important stuff to talk about.
We do.
Right?
So now no block traffic. So we're previewing the women's indoor Olympic scene. Just signed on with a new sponsor, Bet Online. You can sign up using our link, which will be put in the show notes. And when you do that, even if you don't want to bet, we get a $70 kickback. So if you want to help out the boys, just sign up to bet. If you do want to bet, use that code, and then we can all just be one big, happy, degenerate gambling family together. All right. So I'm just going to give a quick rundown of the 12 teams in the tournament. Then Matt's going to break it down pool by pool, and we're also going to go over the format. So a quick primer on those unfamiliar with betting. It's very simple. When you see a team with plus 300 odds, it means if you bet $100 and that team wins the gold medal in this case, you will win 300 back. If you see minus 150, for example, those are Brazil's odds to win Group B, you need to bet $150 to win 100. That simple. All right, so the women's Olympic odds. Italy, plus 300. Turkey, plus 450. Brazil, plus 500. United States of America, plus 550. Serbia is plus 650. China, plus 800. Poland, plus 900. Japan, plus 1,200. The Netherlands, plus 5,000. Dominican Republic, plus 10,000. France, plus 25,000. And my favorite, give me Kenya. Plus 100,000, Maddie.
100,000.
100.
Wow.
I've never seen that number. I thought Egypt had it crazy with the men at plus 50. Kenya,
Don't get your hopes up.
double it up.
And save your money.
Just throw $1 on Kenya. See what happens.
You'll lose that $1. That's what's going to happen.
You can donate it. All right. So, Matt, before we get started, format at the Paris Olympic Games different from the Tokyo Olympic Games. How does this work?
So in Tokyo, it was 2 pools of 6 teams. Top 4 teams from each pool advance to the quarterfinals. Mm-hmm. Quarterfinals, single elimination. You go on to the semifinals. Obviously, those 2 semifinals winners go to the gold medal, silver medal match. Losers of those semifinals go to the bronze medal match. This year, different. Well, this cycle, this quadrennial, different. They're doing 3 pools of 4 teams. Mm-hmm. Top 2 teams after pool play is completed automatically moves on to the quarterfinals. And then the top 2 third-place teams fill out that bracket for teams 7 and 8 to go move on.
And so one third-place team will not make it out.
The third-place team is out along with the 3 fourth-place teams.
And the third-place teams, the 1, 2, and 3 third-place teams, it's broken down by set differential, then points.
Correct.
Got it. There you have it. Why do you think the change?
Well, we were talking about this regarding the men in Tokyo. It was the same format. 2 pools of 6 teams, top 4 moved on. But in the semifinals of the medal bracket for the men in Tokyo, all 4 teams came from the same pool. And so those teams all knew each other. They all played each other in those preliminary matches. And so you didn't get to see any new matchups between the 2. Plus, it's teams playing 5 matches in that 16 pool versus now they're playing 3 matches in a 14 pool. So a little less demand on the athletes, which I think is extremely important. 5 matches, that's a big ask, usually every other day. Then to go into the medal rounds can break your team down. And I think the format, I think they've got it right with this format.
Got it. So favors the U.S. a little bit. Talked about it with the men, a little bit older. U.S. women, also, relatively speaking, a little bit older. So, Matt, I'm going to have you do a couple different things. First thing I want to hear, who's on the podium? Give us our gold, silver, bronze
Predictions, gold, silver, bronze, right now.
If you can. Well, let's start with the pools. We'll break all the teams down, then we'll back it up. We'll just dangle that carrot for you guys. All right, Group A, United States of America. This is very similar to the men. Our men are in, I think, the most parity-filled pool, which is something that we kind of agreed upon when we chatted about them. But Group A is USA plus 100 to win the group, Serbia plus 200 to win the group, China plus 300 to win the group, and France plus 25,000, so big underdogs.
Yeah.
Break it down.
So based on world rankings coming into the Olympics, USA is ranked 5th in the world. China is 6th. So those two are really going to be battling for the top 2 spots in this pool. Serbia sits at 9th in the world, a very good team, but they're just kind of trending in the wrong direction right now after VNL. France, as the home host country, they're ranked 19th in the world. I don't think that they're going to get too many wins in this pool. They might be able to push Serbia, or if they're really on their game, perhaps they could pull off a massive upset. But I just don't really see that happening. To me, it's USA's pool to lose. Right? China's going to give them a good test, and USA's got to be on point. Serbia can be very good. But USA, really, they've got to come in. They've got to get better every match that they play, and they need to be peaking, as they finish out the pool. While we're doing this, they're here in Long Beach playing a couple of friendly matches against Netherlands, and they went 5 in their first match. So USA's got some stuff to figure out. Hopefully they can stay healthy. We talked about it. They're a little bit on the more veteran side. If you look at their ages, I mean, Jordan Larson's there. She's 37. As an outside hitter playing against outside hitters that are in their early 20s. So, there are a lot of returning players for this team that help them win that gold in Tokyo. And I think they're going to rely on that veteranship and leadership to really come together and play as a unit. And I think they only have 4 players that are making their Olympic debut. But they're going to rely heavily on their setting, has to be on point, and then they've got to just be in good offensive systems the whole way.
Mm-hmm. So who are the key players for the United States? There are American fans. We're a beach-centric pod.
Yeah.
A lot of people might not watch the indoor, but they're going to tune in for the Olympics. Sure. So who are we watching for the Americans?
The entire team, right? So starting at the setter position, you've got Jordan Poulter and Lauren Carlini. Right, are the 2 setters that have been named to the roster. Their official alternate is Micah Hancock.
Okay.
So their alternate is a setter. And I think between the 3 of them coming off of their professional seasons overseas, they're a little broken down physically. And I think they're dealing with some kind of nagging little injuries. So for your setter to be an alternate and who's not a true point scorer but has to run an offense is kind of a big statement that Karch is making, saying that their outside hitters are healthy, right? Kelsey Cook, their opposites, Jordan Thompson and Annie Drews, are healthy, but they've got to be able to get the ball to them. And if they need to make an injury substitution and bring Hancock in as that alternate, means that Carlini or Poulter might not be 100% healthy. And then libero work by Justine Wong-Orantes. She's one of the best liberos in the world.
Yep.
One thing you never really have to worry about with Team USA is their passing or their defense with her in the back row.
It's a good thing never have to worry about.
Very much so. But, I mean, look, it's a physical game now, and serving is super important. And serve reception, you've got to stay in system. And it's very narrow margins on what keeps you siding out on first ball side outs or working off of high balls.
Yep. What is Karch's philosophy in regards to serving? Because Spera, pretty clear for a long time, wants the boys ripping.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many you miss, keep up the service pressure. Is Karch somewhere in between that?
So it's hard to tell exactly. First of all, I haven't ever asked Karch that question. International volleyball is so dependent on aggressive serving, but right? And you don't want to miss into the net. You want to miss long, obviously. If you can get a team passing the ball outside that 10-foot line, that puts your team as the block and defensive team on the advantage. Because it eliminates any attacking through the middle of the court, really, either the front row quick or the bick out of the back row. But there's a fine line. If you're serving too easy, the other team's just going to side out on you at a high percentage, either first ball side out or second or third, depending on what weapons they have to hit, right? So you see the teams that don't serve aggressively enough have a very difficult time winning. And teams that might not have a best serving night or match puts them at the disadvantage because the other team is in system the whole time. Mm-hmm. So serving is extremely important. And yeah, there is still that ratio of, you want to say, miss 2-1 to aces, errors to aces. But if you can get a team well out of system more often than the other team does to you, that puts you at the advantage also.
Yep. So the United States, you think American fans can kind of rest easy? We're going to be into the quarterfinals most likely.
Well, I wouldn't say it's going to be a cakewalk.
Right.
Resting easy, I don't know about that one either. They're going to get tested from China for sure. And I think they could get tested from Serbia. That's a former world championship team. Like, they've got good pedigree. They're not quite as dangerous as China, but they're still very good, and they're big physical Eastern European volleyball players. Mm-hmm. France, at 19th in the world, I don't think they're really going to push USA. So I like USA's chances, but it's definitely not a cakewalk.
Not a guaranteed win, but very likely they will be moving on from pool. Group B, you got anything else to add for Group A?
No, I think we covered that one nicely.
Group B, Brazil is the biggest favorites to win their group at -150. Poland is the biggest long shot for 2, and Japan is the biggest long shot at 3. At +275 for Poland, +400 for Japan, and then we got the ringers, Kenya, +50,000 to win Pool B.
Kenya's going to celebrate if they win a set over any of these 3 teams, because you've got Brazil, who's ranked 2nd in the world, Poland is 4, and Japan is 7.
Oh,
so talk about the pool of death. Fortunately, I think it's a fairly certain thing to say that those 3 teams will advance, Brazil, Poland, and Japan. They are all very good teams. They're playing quality volleyball right now, but they all have different styles. Mm-hmm. Brazil has got one of the best outside hitters in the world in Gabby, who does a great job, and then through the middle, they're very strong. They've got Taisa back, who is a huge presence in the middle for them. She's 6'7", I believe, and offers a huge blocking presence, but also offensively too. And Brazil's just Brazil. I mean, they're a perennial favorite for the most part. Poland has been playing really good volleyball, very physical, and their Italian coach has gotten them playing great volleyball right now as well. Japan, just like their men's team, they play a very technical game. Mm-hmm. Ton of defense. I mean, a ton of defense. Really good outside hitters in Koga and Ishikawa. They can surprise some people. I mean, they're 7th in the world for a reason, right? And they've really found their kind of stride, and they're sort of peaking at the right time as well. Are they good enough to beat, Italy or Turkey? I don't think so, but they could upset Poland. But I think Brazil's going to win this pool. And then it's a wash between Poland and Japan for 2 and 3.
And so really the big thing is, when it comes down to that point differential, you want to beat Kenya by a lot.
By a lot.
Because you want to guarantee to be that third place team that makes it out.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing about Pool A too, is that you pretty much want to make sure you sweep France. And that'll almost guarantee you breaking pool.
Agreed. Yeah, same with Kenya. You want to sweep Kenya, and you want to keep them under 15 points if you can. And most of these teams probably will.
Yeah, I can see it now. The PC headlines from news organizations that don't really understand that you need to hammer teams, and they're like, "Well, why are you running up the score against poor Kenya and Egypt and whatever else?"
Yeah.
But it's just the way the system is. You have to do it.
The Olympics is a huge sportsmanship venue, and you love to see that. But when it comes to tiebreakers and points and fractions of points, sportsmanship doesn't get that done for you. And you don't want to be 4th being like, I wish I would have been a little meaner and won that those couple of points to advance.
Yep. All right, so Pool B, loaded. Popcorn needed to be popped for that one. Anything else to add for Pool B? Do we like Brazil to win it?
Yeah, I like Brazil to win it. Yeah, they got 4th in the VNL this year. They're coming off of a silver in Tokyo, the 2020 games. So I think they're playing very well, and their coach, Zé Roberto, won gold with Brazil in Beijing and London. So they're strong.
A lot of Olympic experience there.
Yeah.
On to Group C. Italy is the second biggest favorite to win their pool at minus 120. Turkey plus 120 to win Group C. The Netherlands plus 1,600. And the Dominican Republic is the odds-on favorite to have some upsets as the bottom seed in pool at plus 6,600. What do we think about Pool C?
I think Pool C could have a preview of a medal match between Italy and Turkey.
Okay.
Clearly not clearly, but as of late, probably the best two teams in the world right now. Italy
and Turkey are.
They're ranked 1 and 3. Brazil's ranked 2nd.
Okay.
But Italy and Turkey are playing a very European style of volleyball where it's very opposite heavy. They've got the two best opposites in the world are on these teams. For Italy, it's Paola Eganu, 25-year-old. And then for Turkey, it's Melissa Vargas, who's a 24-year-old Cuban who renationalized and was only able to start playing for Turkey in 2023.
Okay.
And she is terminal. I mean, she can attack from anywhere. They set her a lot. And that to me could be the biggest red flag for Turkey is that they overuse her. They rely too much on her.
Got it.
And if she breaks down, she gets overworked, especially as the tournament goes on. Turkey has other weapons, but if they can't pass the ball, they can't run middle, and then they're only relying on the pins, and that's going to pose problems for them. They've got a really, really great Italian coach, Daniele Santarelli, who's gotten this team going in the right direction after he took over, I believe, last summer in 2023. But Turkey they've got good physical size through the middle. Italy, they're experienced, right? They just won the VNL this year. So they're talk about peaking at the right time. But again, it's going to be a battle of the opposites, Eganu versus Vargas.
So Italy, as a federation, they could come home with a whole lot of medals because their men's team is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Their women's team is strong. Beach, you got Paolo Nicolai, Sam Kotafava playing very good volleyball, and then you got Marta Menegatti, Valentina Guittardi, kind of outside dark horse contenders. Yeah. It'd be kind of fun to see Italy take home 4 medals.
I mean, it's a volleyball rich country. I mean, historically, you talk about professional volleyball, men's and women's side, they've been at the forefront for well over 50 years, right? The Superliga that you can watch on VBTV during that season, that's arguably one of the strongest leagues in the world year after year. And so both on the men's and women's side. So yeah, could they get 4 medals? I mean, potentially.
I wonder if that's ever been done. Maybe. I'll have to look into that.
I'd have to do some digging on that one.
Men's beach, women's beach, men's indoor, women's indoor. That'd be a fun little research project. At least we know we only have to go back to 96.
Right. And I was thinking maybe that was the year but I don't think the men's indoor team medaled in 96.
No, and no Italians won a medal on the beach. It was a clean sweep for Brazil, the women in 96, and then the U.S. was USA, and Canada. John Childs and Marquise, baby.
So Brazil women did not win a medal in 2016 Olympics in Rio.
Yep.
So that defeated them there.
Got it.
So they got 4th. They lost in the bronze medal game because then you would have had the men's indoor team get gold. Alisson and Bruno got gold. And then I don't know what happened on the women's beach side and who got a medal there. I don't think there was a Brazilian team in there.
Yes, there was. Silver medal.
Silver.
Ludwig and Kira Valkenhorst beat Agatha and Barbara.
Okay.
Bit of a stunner.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so Brazil was close.
They were close.
Yeah. So Italy could
make it
some
happen.
History. That'd be cool. That'd be fun. Maybe Bet Online has a parlay about that. That would be a big payout.
Kotafava and Nicolai would have a tough run for them.
Man, they're playing well. If you didn't watch their bronze medal match in Stade, match of the year. One of the best matches
22-20 in the third, right?
28-26.
28-26. Wow.
It was 22-20, 22-20, 28-26. It was like 20 straight side outs.
That's a battle.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, ended on a net violation. Bummed me out. Yeah.
Ouch.
So we've gone over all of our pools. Does the Dominican have any chance of taking a match off the Netherlands?
Yeah, absolutely. The Dominican, kind of has this style of volleyball where it's not super reliable, but if they can get that mojo and like that emotion and energy contained and then repeat it, then yes, they could definitely beat the Netherlands. But it's going to be a big ask for them.
Got it.
The Dutch side, they're experienced, they're physical, they've got size. They're sort of one of those three teams that are going to be in the mix for that second, third place spot to advance.
Because I feel like with the women's pool, because you have your bottom seeds in each pool, most likely going to get walked over. France probably going to get walked over, might take a set.
Yeah.
Kenya not winning a set, might not score more than 15. Dominican would take a big effort. So really what we're watching in pool play with the women is who's that third place team that won't make it.
Yeah, and that really won't come into light until probably halfway through the pool.
Yeah.
And, how each pool individually breaks down. And we talk about sets, one loss and then points one lost as the tiebreaker for Serbia or Japan or the Netherlands. Those are kind of the three teams that I think are going to be battling for those two third place spots to advance.
Got it. Good to know. All right. So we've gone over all the pools. Gold, silver, bronze. What does our semifinal look like?
So the two semifinals, definitely Italy and Turkey are going to be there.
Okay.
I think Brazil's going to be there, and I think the United States is going to be there.
Okay, so chalk walk. That's the odds on top four.
I think it's a little more clear cut for the women's side in terms of those four teams advancing. Poland, depending on who they're playing and how the health is of those two teams, could possibly pull off an upset. But I think the seeds will hold, not the seeds, but the rankings, the world rankings will hold into the semifinals. From there, man, Turkey is going to be tough to beat, right? You're going to need, if it's USA-Turkey, that's going to be a real battle and some very high-level volleyball to watch. You've got American players that play professionally in Turkey, and it could make for some fun dynamics for sure. Italy and Brazil, just two powerhouses, again, Pagliano, the opposite for Italy, going against Gabby. That'll make for a fun dynamic. Going to be some good volleyball on the women's side too.
Yep. Going to be a fun couple weeks. Like I said with the men, hope to be hanging out with you pretty much all Olympics.
Let's do it.
Chatting this stuff and just breaking it down.
Yep.
Because I'll be here, you'll be here.
Let's make it
Might as
happen.
well chat volley.
Why not?
Matt Prosser, thanks for coming on the Paris Pod Olympic Outlook, whatever you guys want to call it. And see you guys once the action gets started.
Let's do it.
Shoots.